Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special, and now it's time for us to talk about what happened during the second half of Monday Night Raw from the Perfomance Center in Orlando, Florida. And for the first time in well over 2 months, we finally remembered to split the parts for this show. Yay! And before we kick off the second part, folks, what we forgot to mention during the first part with R-Truth, he said he's going to get his 711 747 I-95 South 401k that I spent championship back from Tom Brady. Which, once again, he means Ron Gronkowski, and how in the world is he going to be able to pull that off? I know not. And with that firmly explained, folks, the next thing to take place on Monday Night Raw throughout the entirety of the night would see the Street Profits trying to fight against the Viking Raiders now this week in the next Better Than You challenge featuring MVP and Matt Hardy circa back when they did it over the United States Championship or even the Tag Team Championships in axe throwing. And during this axe throwing experience, you would not only see Montez Ford throwing an axe directly into the air, but you would also see the Viking Raiders trying to give the Street Profits an honorable gift with the form of smoke, in the form of fire with a whole lot of smoke coming out of it. Because that's what they think the smoke is, just like I did at one point. But besides all of that, the contest would be a landslide victory in the form of the Viking Raiders winning, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins pissing off the Vikings by not only knocking out their makeshift meat barrel that they had on the side over there with one of the axes, but also getting law enforcement involved with Montez Ford's axe that he threw earlier in that night going directly into a squad car, and for Ivar to get out of getting in trouble for all of this by the officers saying that he's cute, but Eric was not. And I got a feeling that next week's challenge is most likely going to be a rap battle between the two, so get prepared next week for whatever sort of Better Than You triathlon or how many events it'll take to lead to a tag team championship match that these two are going to have. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw, besides this silly triathlon that leads hopefully to the Tag Team Championships, would see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross going one-on-one against the Iconics for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And during this match, action would go back and forth and would see Billie Kay and Peyton Royce trying to use their typical shady tactics they used last week to try to win the championships, only for Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to see right through it, for Alexa Bliss to take advantage of their confusion and folly during this match by hitting none other than Peyton Royce with an insult to injury during this match for a near fall. But ultimately, this match would come to an end again after Billie Kay would hit Nikki Cross with a nasty big boot, taking her out of this match, and for Alexa Bliss to hit a lightning combo to Billie Kay, leading into a nasty forearm and the Twisted Bliss for a near fall, broken up by Peyton Royce, then for Peyton Royce to go ballistic, hit Alexa Bliss into the ring post on a multitude of occasions, for the referee to have no choice but to rule this match a disqualification, for Billie Kay and Peyton Royce to not only get upset in the center of the ring, but for the team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to win this match and keep their championships. And after the match was over, Billie Kay, obviously upset with what Peyton Royce decided to do, decided to slap Peyton Royce in the face, but then would say, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that," and for them to cry and hug it out in the center of the backstage area, for them to get over what they did to each other, costing each other the championships. Will they get another shot at it? Most likely because I don't see any other women's tag teams on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT that will challenge for it, unless, I guess, Bayley or Sasha Banks or even the Kabuki Warriors decide to go for it again. They need more women tag teams in the company to actually go for those belts. Really do think so. But before we try to fix that dilemma that I got a feeling they're gonna have to look at in the near future, the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see Shayna Baszler going one-on-one against Natalya in a submission match. And this match only came about after Natalya, who would lose the match last week, would not only get in a little bit of a tantrum and also slap herself in the face telling her, come on, you're better than this, would ultimately lead to this submission match. And during this said submission match, not only there were sharpshooter attempts, knee bars, and even arm bars that take place during this said match, you would see none other than Shayna Baszler doing the ultimate form of insult to the Hart family legacy by trying to do a sharpshooter to Natalya, only for Natalya to actually catch her and hit her with a sharpshooter of her own, forcing none other than Shayna Baszler to crawl to the outside of the ring since there's no rope breaks in a submission match. Which I keep forgetting that rule, but after the whole thing with, I guess, John Cena versus The Big Show in that match for a submission match in 2009? Yeah, I should have remembered that. But besides that little history reference, folks, this match will come to an end again after Natalya would get caught sleeping and get hit with a Karafuda clutch for Shayna Baszler to win this match via submission, and for Natalya, after the match was over, to tear up the set of one Kevin Owens before the return of the KO show. And for her to actually throw a couple of chairs outside the ring too, for Samoa Joe to say, hey, if you're gonna get that angry for losing, maybe it would be a good idea for you to take some time off. Which I think would be pretty good in Natalya's case if she keeps getting angry like that when she loses. Starting to remind me of Christian, with the exception when he lost with the whole thing with Diamond Dallas Page. He went into a whole temper tantrum and just started banging the ring and slamming the ground over and over again. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't lead to that. And after that loss, folks, the next thing to take place on this said show would be the return of the KO show, where Kevin Owens would say not only he was unable to compete after WrestleMania due to the fact that he jumped off that WrestleMania sign, and it would be revealed that if WrestleMania took place inside that stadium, he would have jumped off that giant pirate ship that was in the arena for WrestleMania that year. Man, I would have loved to see that, even though he would have probably gotten himself very hurt from that. He would then try to figure out what's going on between Andrade Cien Almas, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory with their whole problems that's been going on for the past 2 weeks now. From the outside of the ring, nonetheless, which would really tick off Zelina Vega, only for Kevin Owens to reveal that they're not the only guest on the show for this week, because somebody that they know very well is also coming out on the show for this week, which would be none other than the returning Apollo Crews, which Apollo Crews will make a beeline for Andrade, beating the living daylights flag tag out of him, leading into an impromptu tag team match with Kevin Owens making his in-ring return the same week he would be celebrating his 5-year anniversary of part of the company. Man, I feel old. Alongside with Apollo Crews against Andrade Cien Almas and Angel Garza. And I got a feeling I said Apollo Crews twice, so to feel better about myself, I'll say it again. And the reason why we keep mentioning Apollo Crews, folks, because during this match, action will go back and forth and would even see Kevin Owens return with a big boy senton to Angel Garza during this match, including Apollo Crews doing a stalling suplex to him during this match. But ultimately, this match would come to an end again after Zelina Vega would hop up on the apron and try to provide a distraction, only for Austin Theory to punch Angel Garza in the face, trying to hit Apollo Crews instead, only for Apollo Crews to hit a beautiful and disgusting cruise missile powerbomb in the center of the ring for the team of Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews to win this match via pinfall. And after the match was over, upset with that little accident that happened during this match, Angel Garza and Andrade Cien Almas would both attack Austin Theory by beating the ever-living Daylight's flag tag out of him on the outside of the ring, throwing him into chairs, saying, "Oh, what you did was an accident, but this is not an accident." And after throwing him into the chairs, while he was down on the ground after he got the boots put to him medium style, Andrade Cien Almas would take a chair and throw it at him Sabu style, hitting him in the face for Austin Theory to stay on the ground going, And not to mention, during this whole beatdown, you would also see Zelina Vega saying to him, "I regret ever believing in you," before slapping him in the face to continue that whole beatdown in the progress of what happened prior to the steel chair getting thrown into his face. And after that soul-shattering moment for the kid who came from NXT to actually be featured on WrestleMania, only to get kicked out of a faction that features a guy who reminds me of Rico Suave and someone else who, well, I guess would be a part of the Three Amigos somehow, we would go into the next match for the night, which would see none other than Aleister Black going one-on-one against Buddy Murphy. And during this match, Aleister Black was a man on a mission, because when he did his whole entrance, after he did that, he walked toward the ring, made a beeline for Murphy, threw his jacket in his face, and proceeded to beat the living daylights out of him, kicking him on the outside of the ring in the chest, and even risking his own leg to kick him in the chest against the ring post, which he would miss, and Murphy would try to take advantage of. But unfortunately, that advantage wouldn't last for much longer, because next thing you know, Aleister Black would come back into this match with a Tiger Knee and would try to finish off Murphy with a black mass, only for, meanwhile, outside of the ring, Seth Rollins, who decided to reach out and grab Austin Theory's hand, for Austin Theory to grab his hand and go into the ring on behalf of the Monday Night Messiah to beat the living crap out of Aleister Black, which would not only lead to the disqualification, folks, but would also lead into the fact that Austin Theory would do the ATL to Aleister Black, and afterward would be followed up with a Murphy Tiger Knee to the face for Seth Rollins to hug Austin Theory in the ring, for him to be the next broken toy soldier in the services of one Seth Rollins. So the Monday Night Messiah once again converted yet another person to join his cause in his crusade that he believes is the right thing to do. So, what does that mean? The AOP is still enlisted in their services when this whole pandemic is over? I got a feeling they are, which will make them more dangerous than ever now with Austin Theory on their side. Yikes. But besides all that, folks, the last but not least match of the night, the main event, would be none other than King Corbin going one-on-one against Drew McIntyre, in a match that I originally thought was going to be for the WWE Championship, but wasn't for the belt. I don't know, I think they changed it at the last minute, but ultimately before this match could take place, you would see King Corbin, being the king that he is, just bullying everybody backstage, saying, why in the world am I not getting the respect that I deserve? Only for Drew McIntyre to say that he's gonna give him a Claymore fit for a king, and boy does he ever. Because despite Drew McIntyre getting hit with a superplex for a 1 count, you would also see Drew McIntyre getting hit with a deep 6 during this match, and even getting hit into the rope on a multitude of occasions to try to get his windpipe closed by Baron Corbin, only for Corbin to make one fatal mistake during this match from calling Drew McIntyre a lackey, which would light a fire under his ass during this match, to the point where he would not only be able to do a belly-to-belly suplex to Baron Corbin of all people, but would also be able to counter his decapitating clothesline that he would do to the outside of the ring, for him to counter it into a perfect Claymore that was definitely fit for a king, for King Corbin to be dethroned on Monday Night Raw via pinfall. And not to mention making the King of SmackDown into the King of Cartoons with that Claymore. Yeah, we went and used the Pee Wee Herman reference, and I don't care. And oh, before we forget, Lashley would challenge Drew McIntyre for the championship, and Lashley would get his answer from Drew McIntyre to say, we finally want to see the killer that you could be, challenge accepted. So does that mean it's gonna be a championship match to take place at Backlash? We'll have to find out next week on Monday Night Raw. But until then, folks, we're gonna go grab a glass of water, and when we return, we'll be back with more Streetlight Delight as the Tuesday Night Special rolls on right after this. So don't go watching any of those infomercials just yet, folks, and stay tuned.